RHOBH Kyle Richards with big secret people don't know. Kyle Richards is revealing a big secret that people do not know about her. The RHOBH OG returns for season 14 of the hit Bravo reality series Any Day Now. Though viewers think they know all there is to about the mother of four, that may not be true. Keep reading to see what Kyle is spilling. Kyle Richards with big secret people don't know. For almost 14 years, Kyle Richards has put her life out on the line for fans to watch and pick apart. She was a part of the OG RHOBH cast where she has remained. No matter who has come and gone, Kyle has stayed. There have been a plethora of ups and downs in the mother of four's life. Her older sister, Kim Richards, who was also an OG cast member, has battled with substance abuse for years. That has played out on the show and has taken a toll on Kyle and her family. They also have another sister, Kathy Hilton, with whom Kyle was estranged for years. The two reconciled but fell out again more recently. It was only when Kyle and her husband of nearly 30 years, Mauricio Umansky, split that things came back together for the sisters. Kyle's separation also played out for cameras, as did years of cheating rumors, so nothing has been off limits. Now, season 14 of RHOBH will be starting in the next month. It will be intense, emotions are high, and anything can and will happen. However, there are some things fans do not know about Kyle Richards. According to Bravo, she is setting the record straight about something viewers seem to guess incorrectly about her. Allegedly, they think she is quite social when in fact, she is the opposite. She was often the life of the party, doing splits and spinning her long hair around. However, that is apparently not who Kyle is, and she wants to set the record straight. The disconnect. In season 13 of RHOBH, one of the biggest issues Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky had was how they lived. She was ready for a more calmer lifestyle, whereas he still wanted to go out and have fun. He was focused on his real estate business, and that meant constant socializing. This was a lifestyle Kyle could no longer keep up with, nor did she want to. Plus, she was tired of drinking, so she focused on sobriety and working out. That was hard for her co-stars as they were not used to a more tame Kyle. Kyle Richards had mastered the art of keeping secrets. Years in Beverly Hills, navigating friendships, feuds, and fragile alliances, had turned her into a vault of unspoken truths. But this secret? This was different. This wasn't just another scandalous tidbit waiting to be exposed in a reunion episode. This was something she had buried deep, something no one, not even her closest confidants, had uncovered. It all started years ago, long before the cameras of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills followed her every move. Before Mauricio, before the stunning mansions and the designer labels, Kyle had a past that she had successfully locked away. But as any good housewife knew, the past never stayed buried for long. The secret life of Kyle Richards. The whispers began subtly. An anonymous tip to a gossip blog. A cryptic Instagram comment from an account with no profile picture. A blurry, out-of-context photo that had fans squinting and speculating. At first, Kyle brushed it off. Trolls were a part of reality TV life. But then, something shifted. It was at a recent RHOBH event, a lavish charity gala hosted by Sutton Strack. The usual suspects were there. Dorrit in a head-to-toe designer ensemble, Garcelle keeping an observant eye on the drama, Erica Jane exuding her icy allure. But then Kyle saw her. A woman in the crowd. A woman she hadn't seen in years. A woman who knew the truth. Kyle's breath hitched, but she kept her composure. Years of being on camera had trained her to control her expressions. But inside, she was unraveling. A double life. The woman approached, a sly smile playing on her lips. "Kyle," she said smoothly, her voice dripping with knowing amusement. "It's been a long time." Kyle forced a smile. "I'm sorry, do I know you?" "Oh, you do," the woman replied. "And if you don't remember, I'd be happy to remind you. Publicly." And there it was. The unspoken threat. Kyle's worst nightmare taking shape in real time. The reality? Kyle Richards wasn't always Kyle Richards. The truth about Kyle's past. Long before she was the beloved, diamond-holding queen of Beverly Hills, she had another identity, one she had carefully erased from public records. In her late teens, before Hollywood and marriage, Kyle had taken part in something that would shake her polished image to its core. She had been a part of an underground socialite network, a secret club of young heiresses and starlets who lived by a different set of rules. They didn't just party in private clubs. No, that was for amateurs. They ran their own elite, off-the-grid events, ones where no cameras were allowed, where the powerful mingled with the reckless, and where mistakes had high prices. Kyle had a different name back then, a different persona, and for one short, dangerous period of time, she had been involved in something much bigger than she realized. The forgotten night. One fateful night, a member of their group had disappeared. A high-profile, whisper-about case that had never quite been solved. Kyle wasn't directly involved, but she had been there. She had seen things she could never admit. When the heat turned up, Kyle did what she had to do. She distanced herself. She changed her trajectory, aligned herself with the right people, and reinvented herself as the girl-next-door actress, the devoted wife, the Beverly Hills socialite. No one ever questioned it. No one ever looked too closely. Until now. A past that won't stay buried. The woman at Sutton's event wasn't just a blast from the past. She was a living, breathing reminder of what Kyle had tried so hard to forget. And now she was here, threatening to undo everything. "I think we should talk," the woman said, tilting her head. "You wouldn't want this little secret to come out, would you?" Kyle's stomach churned, but she kept her voice even. "I don't know what you're talking about." The woman chuckled. "Oh, Kyle, you always were good at playing innocent. But you and I both know the truth. And I have receipts." Kyle's blood ran cold. Receipts. The word every housewife feared. The fallout. Kyle knew she had to act fast. If this woman was serious about exposing her, she needed a plan. Damage control. The media could be manipulated, narratives could be spun, and in Beverly Hills, the truth was only as real as the best PR team's latest statement. But this time, Kyle wasn't sure if even she could escape unscathed. Because secrets, especially in this town, never stayed buried forever. Kyle Richards had always been the picture of glamorous success. She was a fixture on the red carpet, the queen of Beverly Hills with an effortless smile, stunning looks, and a carefully curated public image. But behind the elegant facade, there was a secret she kept buried deep in her heart. A secret so personal that not even her closest friends knew the full extent of it. It all started in the early days of Kyle's life, long before the bright lights of reality television. She had been raised in a family that seemed to have it all: wealth, influence, and power. But what no one knew was that beneath the surface, Kyle had a painful childhood marked by a trauma she had never fully dealt with. The secret began with her mother, Kathleen, a woman who had been loving and caring on the surface, but had her own deep scars. Growing up, Kyle had always been expected to be the perfect daughter. As the youngest, she was often told to smile, behave, and never show weakness. But what the world didn't know was that her mother had been a perfectionist, pushing Kyle and her siblings to the limit to create the ideal family portrait. One summer, when Kyle was just 10, a terrible tragedy struck the Richards family. Kathleen had been diagnosed with a rare illness that left her bedridden for months. As her mother's health deteriorated, Kyle became the emotional backbone of the family. But it came with a cost. The pressure to be strong, to step into a caretaker role, took a toll on young Kyle. She had to hide her own fears and worries to make sure her mother felt loved and cared for. During this period, Kyle developed a coping mechanism that no one, not even her family, would ever understand. She learned to keep her emotions locked away, burying them deep inside. Years passed, and Kyle grew into a successful woman in her own right. As a rising star in Hollywood, she married her husband Mauricio, and they had children together. But the pressure to keep up appearances never truly faded. She had always felt the need to be perfect, to be the loving wife, the doting mother, and the poised reality star. But deep down, Kyle struggled with the scars of her childhood. The grief of her mother's illness, the constant need to be perfect, and the deep-rooted fear of failure weighed heavily on her soul.